Let's go to Twitter, where the conversation continues. San Francisco Supervisor Ahsha Safaí said he is leading on legislation that will allow roll-down gates for cannabis and other retail stores, and goes on to say we need to deter break-ins and crimes before they happen. And he is here once again. Thank you so much for agreeing to have a conversation.
Thanks for having me
sit down
here.
at 3 o'clock. So gates to roll down, but are they any match for people who show up with blowtorches to get into a cannabis dispensary?
Well, I actually went and visited Ali yesterday at Sunset Connect, one of the places that was hit this week. And what he said to me was, really, they were very appreciative of this legislation. Right now, our planning code doesn't allow for metal roll-down gates. A lot of time, they're much more easier to get through. The image that you showed on the camera last night actually probably did slow down and stop the robbery from happening. So sometimes minutes can make the difference in these robberies and burglaries. So it's a first step. But the other step is actually getting more officers into these district stations.
And listen, the drumbeat is about safety, and you're out there on Twitter right now. Let's go to one of your tweets. This is what you said regarding San Francisco crime and safety. You said many people have reached out and have expressed so much anxiety, anger, and frustration about how out of control our city is right now. You went on to say we all need to come back together and lock arms for better solutions. Brazen crime is real. It's affecting us all. San Francisco can do better. That was you on Twitter. So Supervisor Dorsey, who is one of your peers, one of the leaders here in our community, was here a couple of days ago. I asked him point blank, should people feel safe in San Francisco? He couldn't give me a clear yes. What do you say?
I mean, I think right now there's a general sense, as I said there, of anxiety. People know that homes, cars, businesses, and then their bodies are being injured and harmed, in some cases killing in the worst case with Bob Lee. And so San Francisco really does feel out of control right now. And so we need to do better. We need to come together. The leadership of the city needs to come together. We need to sit down with the police chief. I was on the phone with him the entire way over here today, just talking to him. Some of the policies we have restrict the ability of the police to do their job.
What's the worst?
So one of the worst is, like, oftentimes people say the cop showed up and then they didn't pursue. We have a very restrictive pursuit policy. In many cases, there's really good reasons for that. Sometimes they can end in fatalities, but then we have to go to other solutions. We have the ability to use technology, surveillance technology, technology that can tag vehicles, license plate readers. We're not deploying it. This is the center of technology, but yet we're not using the innovative ideas that can fill the gap to take away the deadly chases that can happen. But then we also need to let the criminals know that we're going to follow up, they're going to be arrested, and there's going to be consequences.
Mr. Benedicto, who is in a supervisory role where policing is concerned here in the city, was on yesterday. And what I said to him is, I'm kind of seeing a fracture. We see his perspective where San Francisco is safe. Then we're hearing people who are saying, the concerns are real and there is a real safety problem. How can the people, and it's the same question I asked yesterday, how can the people who live in this city feel safe when the leaders seem to be divided on the narrative, the message, and the approach?
Well, I think, we're united at the Board of Supervisors. We just approved a $25 million budget supplemental. What I had a problem with that, and I think we talked about this last time, Reed, was that it was so heavily concentrated in the downtown, it ignored the district stations, it ignored the neighborhoods. And in this instance, his mother, the commissioner's mother, the one that's fatally injured, it's in the hospital recovering right now, in very critical condition, his mother had called the police a few times that day. They didn't show up because there's such shortage of officers in the city. They weren't able to prioritize that call. Then he shows up to the scene, tries to take matters into his own hands, and ends up in the hospital. If we have more officers, if we're prioritizing not just the downtown, but the entire city, the response is going to be better. So in my mind, this is really a management issue. And I think we can do better in managing the resources, the situation, and having the response better.
We certainly have citizens who are calling for it. We'll have you join us here after the break with somebody who is asking for that help. We thank you so much, Supervisor Ahsha Safaí. We appreciate it.